Hi. Remember me from last week? Of course you do. I'm Lana6. Thank you for tuning in. So, today I wanted to talk more about One Piece. I am finally done with all the episodes that are on Netflix. You thought that I was going to say I was done with all 1,000,000 episodes, didn't you? Well, joke's on you. No. But the cool thing is, it's like I'm finally taking a much needed break. Me and the crew, the Straw Hat gang, we needed to go on a break. So I guess I could say I'm slightly obsessed with the show. And the reason why I can say that I'm obsessed with the show is because I managed to watch about 7 or 8 episodes when I was about to finish up, starting at 1 a.m. Oh, never mind the fact that I had to get up and drive, or actually had to put in a full day and do things, but why not? So, thoughts. I needed a few days to really process what I was thinking. And I have to say, the writer is a freaking genius. So far. So, the last arc that I watched was the Alabasta arc. I should have probably checked the pronunciation of that, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's my channel. I can do what I want. And so, the whole premise of having a complete society being able to be manipulated by only a handful of people, it's ridiculous. It's crazy, but guess what? It is so relatable. Like, if you think about how much situations in this world are manipulated, and not going into politics, because that is the no zone. Zero politics. 0% of the time. Now I'm craving donuts. Anyway, so the thing is, you have a situation that encompasses an entire country, and here you have one individual who's completely rich and is able to manipulate the entire situation only to not achieve their goals. I mean, which is great. I love the outcome of it, but it was just the idea that so much damage and loss of life and things of that nature, all because this person wanted to be the ruler of some new utopia or whatever bullshit line Crocodile gave. And I was just thinking, I'm like, I was like, this is hitting a little home. Because you think about manipulation in the workplace, manipulation in your day-to-day, and you wonder who's pulling the strings behind those manipulations. Now, again, zero politics, but it's almost like, just from a historical perspective, you see a lot of situations that, and a lot of events in life where you're thinking, man, was that a manipulation, or was it just a fucked up thing that happened? I know, crazy, right? But it doesn't matter. But getting back to my reflections of the show, though, it's like, here you have this oddball group of people who have now decided to add a deer to their group. Is Chopper a deer? I think he's a deer. Reindeer, whatever. But what's interesting about that is, they're like, yeah, we don't care. You're cool. Come hang with us. And it's great because it's like, it's very consistent with the whole theme of, oh, you're interesting. Come join us. Like, even the most useless characters, by the way, I have to personally apologize to, I guess, myself at this point. I don't know. or maybe to anybody that I've talked to in the last few weeks of me watching the show. Things I've learned. Nami is not useless. Right? Strange. Vivi is also not useless. Strange, right? It's weird because I thought these characters are just absolutely freaking useless. And it has nothing to do with the fact that they're women, so don't even start with me on that one. The fact that they seemingly did not really contribute much. It was Nami's like, ooh, jewelry, money, gimme. You know, stereotypical nonsense. But then she had to fight. I'm like, I was like, let's see how this is going to play out, because clearly this show has no intentions on letting people just randomly live. I mean, I'll go into that further in a bit. So, but here you have two characters that I thought were completely useless, and I'm like, oh, you guys are useless. This is great. This is absolutely fantastic. I'm excited. Like, so excited that I might actually add those two, or at least just Vivi, to my cosplay list, because, yeah, Nami's not all that interesting. Outside of that one little, well, I guess it really wasn't a little fight. It was a pretty big fight that she managed to win with a system that Usopp built, which is kind of cool, because in the beginning I thought his character was quite useless, but actually he's not. He's very useful. He's their resident engineer, which everybody needs a resident engineer, so why not? I think it's great. But more or less, it changed my perspective on a lot of stuff. Usefulness. It changed my perspective on people with not so seemingly superpowers or whatever. And quite frankly, it was just a really compelling story. Enough for me to lose how much sleep over it? I would say a solid 6 hours of sleep. I lost 6 hours of sleep trying to finish that series, and I still didn't finish it. I had to go back the next day and finish the remainder 3 episodes. So I'm like, holy addiction. But fortunately, I'm on a break. We're on a break, just like Ross and Phoebe were. Was it Phoebe? Oh God, it's been forever since I watched Friends. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So, the other thing about One Piece, I think the initial time that I talked about it, they were setting off the adventure. It was great. It's fantastic. And now they're like, all right, we got this. We're in the Grand Line. Luffy's like, I'm still gonna beat your ass. By the way, that dude is freaking nuts. Like, it's like, while they were in the desert kingdom, they're like, all right, we need to blend in. Luffy's like, no, bitch, I'm here. I'm like, how would you do that? Like, you get all this way, and you're like literally announcing to the world, hey, I'm here. Whatever, doesn't matter. What does matter is the fact that he's very consistent on what he does. He's not stealthy. He is very in your face, and he is very pro, I'm going to protect my friends no matter what, even if it kills me, and to the point where it actually almost did kill them. Actually, I would say that if it wasn't for the fact that he had double fruit powers, he would probably been dead in the first maybe 50 episodes. By the way, let me go back even further than that, to the time that they rescued a dragon. Now, here's my take on it. I get it's anime. I get it's fantasy. I get it is not real in any way whatsoever. But the fact you're telling me that they were able to not only build a platform big enough to drag a dragon out of a cave, but then they're like, you know what? We're going to roll it down a mountain, and we're going to shoot it off into the water and hope it lands in the thing. if I was a dragon, I don't think that I would be okay with that. I think that I would be very not okay with that. Because it's like, especially how old he was, it's like, dude, I'm old as shit. But what gets me, though, is the fact that they did all that work only for the dragon to die. Granted, he was reborn. And still, it didn't matter. I guess, the whole point of it was to move the story, and quite frankly, I'm sure it's probably a filler episode. Matter of fact, I am 90% sure it was very much filler, because nothing was really gained from that encounter. At least, not that I remember. Maybe I should do a rewatch before I continue on, just to make sure that I am actually correct in this. I'm probably wrong like 50% of the time anyway, so it doesn't matter, I guess. So, let's go back to, let me revisit the whole, where did I want to go with that? See, we discussed useless characters, we discussed dragons, we discussed crocodile. Well, we really didn't discuss crocodile. But the thing that really got to me in that whole arc was the fact that the very woman, well, the crocodile's secondhand man or woman or person or whatever your preference is on that, here she is trying to say, hey, I did a thing, but hey, I'm not really a bad guy. I just tried to survive. And I know it was relatable to the crew, but I'm starting to wonder, will they actually regret? I think her name was Miss Sunday. Miss All Sunday. Yeah, that's what it was. They introduced a lot of characters. So my memory is like, wait, was it this guy? Was it this guy? Yeah, I need like a chart. Ever see that meme with the guy who's on the blackboard and he's trying to like chart all the things and he's like going like, ah. Yeah, that's how my brain is right now with this entire show. It's like, ooh, but this, ooh, but this, ooh, but this, ooh, but this. But wait, wasn't that from like 50 episodes ago? All right, scroll. That was 50 episodes ago. Don't get me wrong, I love shows like that. Like, shows that I can think like that, where Breaking Bad, where everything is kind of like looped off. It's basically, you start a string, and you follow that string, and that string may go for 100 episodes, but then you reach, it ties back into itself, which is great. And quite frankly, I think his name is Oda, the writer, or the creator of the series. It's like, that right there is just a complete display of genius. Like, hands down, I will argue anybody who comes at me and says that it's not genius. Which is why I'm trying to figure out why this show gets so much shit. There is no reason for One Piece to get as much flack as it does unless I'm experiencing it in its pure form and everybody else got some weird watered down American version, since that seems to be happening quite a bit, especially from shows that were starting in the 90s or whatever. Like, there's a warning for smoking. Whatever. I mean, I was born in the 80s. Whatever. Smoking's a thing. Tried it once, didn't really see the appeal. I was like, is this it? Okay, never touched it again. But, there's no reason to warn for smoking. Moving on, though. Quite frankly, it's like, I want to deep dive into so much of this show. But I gave myself a time limit of about 15, 17 minutes per episode. So maybe there'll be a part 2. I guess what I'll do is I'll go based on like arc or season, and I'll deep dive into those seasons over time, because quite frankly, as a person that's just watching the show first, I'm pretty sure anybody who's been watching this thing since like the 90s, they're probably very interested in what somebody who's like brand new thinks about One Piece. It's a great show, and quite frankly, at this point, I'm at the age where I'm like, maybe I should just buy all of the physical media and just watch it or own it. But then again, I'm not sure if I have that much storage space. But next One Piece episode, I'm breaking it down per arc, I guess you could say. And right now there are 4 arcs. I will actually start at the beginning, because now that I have an overall perspective of what happens, I can sort of give a good analysis on what I think about it. Overviews are not my strong point, if you haven't noticed. But we can discuss that later. So, have a good one. Like, subscribe, comment. What are your thoughts? Have you watched it on Netflix? Have you not watched it on Netflix? I'd like to know. I'm very interested. I'm ready to start a discussion on it. I would say hit me up on like Twitter or something, but I don't really know how to use Twitter. But bye for now.